What's going on, everyone, and welcome. Welcome back to our Monday Motivation. I'm super pumped for this one. Had a great weekend myself, and I'm ready to rock and roll back into the weekend. Bring some energy, bring some awareness. Let me just sort this mic out. How are we all? There's been some amazing things happening at the moment in the program, in the Alpha Reset, in the Unbreakable program, which you've just launched. The doors are open for that. So if you are someone who wants to get ahead in life, wants to start to take life by the bull of the horns and start to really get real with yourself, this is the place to do it. This is the real place to do it. And we've seen some incredible transformations already in the program with some of our male and female clients. But this program, which I'm launching right now, the Unbreakable program, is going to be something, everything that I've experienced, coached, is all brought into one. So this is going to be the game changer for that. And this, like I said, the doors are open now, but we kick off the 1st of August. In saying that, this Saturday, we have our mastermind morning in Bridgend. So if you are interested in coming, if you are interested in wanting to just to get a little bit of a taste of what we do here, how this can transform your mindset, your business, your career, your personal development, your relationships, your communication skills, your values, all of those things mixed into one. But more importantly, just getting the best version of you, which is in you internally. We're going to really unlock that and get you to be able to perform like that or act like that on a day-to-day basis and really come from more of an authentic version of yourself. So that's just a little bit of a touch on it. But I'm super pumped. 2 seconds. Yes, there we go. We're back. The mic's loose. Cool. So today's what's been really on my mind a lot lately, and I have got one or two questions in here, but I really wanted to tap into essentially what are the key attributes you need to achieve what you truly want in your personal life, in your professional life, and what that really stems down to. And the biggest one that always comes to my mind, and wherever it's been, if it's becoming successful in business or if it's in my career with sports, professional athlete, it's always been an underlying thing called discipline. Now, discipline is doing things that are not going to give you instant success, but it's being disciplined enough to just turn up every day and do the same process every day, knowing that this is going to get me to that long-term goal. It's being able to turn up the moments you don't want to do it, or it's being able to get 90% there and you have 10% left of that project, and instead of diverting off and doing something else, which is going to be a bit exciting, it's finishing that last 10% and finishing that project or finishing that program or finishing that gym session, whatever it is. That's a 10%. That is discipline, being able to turn up when you don't want to and not just relying on motivation. So there's 3 areas that I believe discipline is key in, and we're going to discuss them today. So the biggest one I find for me is my morning routine. My morning routine is one of the biggest things that creates discipline for me and really gets me into a position of, if I do these things, I've already set myself up for success. And if I don't do them, then I know I'm already on the back foot. Now, after years of doing this, I can quickly adjust. If I am slipping in an area, I can quickly work on that and get myself back on track quickly instead of letting the spiral or negative self-talk kick in. But this is really vital at the start of wherever you are in your journey. If you want to start to improve yourself, or if you're already into a certain area but you want to get to the next level, really prioritizing your morning for yourself. It really sets the tone. And if you're waking up in chaos, scrolling on your phone or skipping the basics, well, you're already on the back foot, essentially. So the key catalyst of all of this is your sleep. So making sure that you get whatever hours you need to perform at your best is making sure you do that. And the biggest one straight away is just putting that phone on the side and removing it for that period. So if it's getting to sleep or waking up, it's what you do. For myself, it's, not hitting that snooze button and really leading from the front. So whether that's going to the gym in the morning, whether that's getting up and having that 10 minutes to yourself where you journal out your thoughts, get whatever's going on in your mind and brain, dumping it out, or if it's going for a walk, taking the dog, or if it's just having that moment in solitude before you start your day to just let your brain digest, let your brain come back into sync. It's giving yourself that moment instead of just being 100 miles per hour. As soon as you get up, you're in a rush, because that mentality is setting yourself up to be impulsive, chaotic, and not really taking action. That's just going off adrenaline, essentially. So for myself, how my morning looks, it's always been the same. Wake up, 5, get up, I have 10 minutes to myself, get that journal out, write whatever's going on. If I feel like I haven't prepared for the day, it's getting that aspect done. But 9 times out of 10, I'm pretty good. I use this thing called Google Calendar, and I use it like my holy grail. And that really helps me, for a busy guy, to be in control and know what's going on all the time. And then it's getting up, going to the gym, getting that 45-hour session done, coming home, taking the dog for a quick walk, and then it's getting into the day, having a shower and getting ready for the day. But I've already prepared my day, my clients' calls, my one-to-ones, my meetings, my work-ons. That's already done. That's already done on the Sunday. I'm sat and reflected on it and seen where I got to tweak. It only takes half an hour, but it's implementing that. But the biggest thing for me is if I hit snooze all the time, or if I'm, hadn't had a quality sleep, it's understanding what I got to do to get back in place. Maybe when I am exhausted and something's happened and I haven't had the right sleep, it is maybe missing that gym session. And I let myself do that now and then if my body's telling me you need a rest. But it's understanding when you need that rest. But if you're doing that all the time, where you're just listening to that soft voice in your head saying, cut corners, and we don't want that. But discipline is being able to do things regardless of how you feel. But if you can implement this, say, for 3 days straight, getting to bed earlier, waking up earlier, your body will start to get into sync with this. Your body will get into sync with this. And at the start, you're going to be tired. So I recommend having a coffee, having that pint of water. But more importantly, you're going to have that coffee at the start just to get you going. And then when your body's in sync with that, you'll start to adjust. You'll start to notice where you flow. And the reality is, if you're getting up early, you're going to go to bed early. It's just, you're so tired by nighttime, you're ready to go to bed. So that's a big one. So if you are wanting to improve your morning, start looking at the time you need to go to bed. Maybe you need to go to bed an hour earlier. Maybe you need to turn your phone off an hour earlier. So you're giving your brain time to just unwind. And the second part then is boundaries with distractions. So discipline means saying no just as much as saying yes. So scrolling, pointless YouTube spirals, saying yes to things that drain you, all weaken your edge. Where it slips, you allow interruptions. You get stuck in reactive mode. You multitask instead of being intentional. That's the key one there. When you multitask, you're doing a lot of nothing. When you're intentional about working on one task, getting that done, then moving on to the next one, that's when you start to move the needle forward. So that's boundaries. And that's why I found for myself, who has these tendencies of doing something and not fully finishing it, how I changed that was allocating time, being clear on what I got to get done that day. And that's why I use the journal. That's why I use my Google Calendar, and it sets me reminders. And then it's being realistic on how many things I want to get done that day, being intentional, not just loading my day with loads of to-do things. It's actually being, okay, these are the things I need to do. And then lastly, and it's following through. So discipline in action. So this matters. It's easy to talk a big game, but the true discipline shows up in the follow through. Are you finishing what you said you would? And this is where it slips for a lot of people. You make excuses, you move the goalposts, and you only rely on motivation instead of commitment. Now, that's what I say with a lot of people. When they start something new, they get excited. The motivation is high. And I normally say to them after a month, all right, where are you at now? I've slipped a little bit here. I'm not doing that journaling anymore. I haven't stuck to my goal. Right, okay, because motivation's gone. This is where the crossroad you are in your life, where you can go back to old habits, or you can go to the new path you want to go down. And that's when awareness comes into it, and that's where discipline really comes in. That's when you need to challenge your thoughts. That's when you need to challenge where you are and where you want to get to, and what are you willing to sacrifice in order to that? What are you willing to rely on and utilize discipline in that area? And a lot of people say to me, this is the funniest one. I think I got ADHD. They've self-diagnosed themselves. Now, there's a high chance you might have it. But the reality is, right, we're in a society right now where we have our devices, we have our laptops, we have our TVs, we have the apps, we have things pinging all the time. We get so much information overload all the time that we get distracted easily. Now, so when it gets to, let's say right now that you have something you need to complete, and you've started something and you've got to that 90%, and you've got 10% left, and you're at that part where it's all the shitty stuff you don't want to do. But you like starting things, it's exciting then, but now you're at the stage where you just got to complete it. Well, our minds will always seek the easy way out. Whatever is the place with less resistance, our minds will take that. Well, the difference with discipline is you see that 10% and you need to justify, okay, well, I need to complete this. Regardless of that, seems a lot easier to do right now, that next task. I need to finish this first. And that comes down to discipline again. So it's getting real with yourself. Now, I'm not diminishing people with ADHD or people who think they have ADHD, but if you do find you have like this tendency, for myself, it's having a whiteboard, it's having the Google Calendar, it's having the journal, it's putting things in front of me. It's putting things in front of me that make it aware that it's in my peripheral. I got to get that done. Reminders. And over time, your brain will get used to this. Your mind will get used to this. But if you are doing something new, well, how do you expect your brain to be able to just remember to do this all the time? It's new. You want to get to a stage where it's always there. So I found for myself having a whiteboard, having the journal, having the Google Calendar available, and just having little prompts. That's the key. So 3 ways to impact your day with better discipline. Win the first 30 minutes. So get up without snoozing. Hydrate and move. Like I said, though, if you are new to morning routines, highly recommend, you're going to be a bit sluggish or gluggy in the morning. Recommend having a coffee after the first 30 minutes maybe. And, there's people out there tell you to wait X amount of time if you listen to Huberman. But I'm going to be honest, when I get up, I have my glass of water and I'll have a espresso. And it seems to be doing okay for me. And then moving your body. I find moving your body gets the energy going. I'm a big believer in turning some music on and getting your energy up. Something that's going to give you a bit of a positive vibe. And just choose top 1 to 3 priorities for the day. What's one impactful task I can do for myself? What's one impactful task that I can do for my work? And then how can I close off the day? And they're the needle moving tasks. That's eating the frog every morning. That's getting real with yourself. These are the things that are going to build internal confidence. They're going to build self-belief. And you're going to start to respect yourself more when you start to stick to your word. And there's something weird about this. I love being able to feel like I'm already ahead of everyone else. Like there's a percentage of people are just still in bed right now. And I've already got big tasks done for the day. I'm already ahead. It's 9, 10 o'clock and I've got shit done. I love getting into the office and knowing I'm unlocking the doors to the office and there's still people who work in other rooms or other offices around you and I'm here before everyone else. It's like a competitive edge that I love, discipline, and I don't know, it's just something that just gets me going. Bit weird, but I love it. And then finish what you start. Choose one thing today that you will complete no matter what. Cut the task in half if needed, but still finish it. Stick to your word. Stick to your word, whatever it is. And then start to stack the wins. And that's the biggest thing I find with the journaling. And anyone who's got the journal, and if you do want one, inquire and we'll get one sent out to you. At the end of the day-to-day, every day has a different question, different task, different things on there which are going to align you to a positive state. But at the end of the day, it says, did you get that task done? And when you start to reflect every day and see all the things you've done, that's when you start to be in a more of a positive state. You start to respect yourself more. You start to feel like, wow, I am moving the needle forward. Because we're so busy on just go, 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 we actually forget how far we've gone, how far we've improved, how far we've become as a person. So my final message on this is, discipline isn't punishment. It's power. Every time you choose discipline, you vote for the man you're becoming. Fall off? No problem. Just don't stay down for too long. reset and go again. That's the unbreakable way. But if you stay down there for too long and you start to talk negatively about yourself and you start to bring old experiences, old stories into that area, you're always going to feel stuck. So the best way to get out of this is getting clear on what you want, what's going to grow you as a person, and then getting around people who are doing the same things as you, as in maybe not the same goal as you, but they want more out of life. They're going to call you out on your bullshit. They're going to want to level you up, and you're going to want to level them up, and you're going to hold each other accountable, because iron sharpens iron, guys. So the biggest thing you can take from this right now is discipline. Discipline is going to transform your mind, transform your world. You know, there's so many things that I reflect now that I implemented in my coaching career from sports. Doing things when I didn't want to do it. Getting up early in the morning, going to the gym. Doing those uncomfortable workouts. Doing those longest days in preseason in Australia where we were in a camp and we're Western Australia in the countryside, and we had this thing called the longest day where essentially you get there on a Saturday morning and you don't leave till Sunday night, and you stay the night, and it's a pre-season session, but it's a lot of obstacle courses, there's a lot of fitness challenges. Then they put you into a game scenario, so you're mentally fatigued, physically fatigued, and you still got to be able to turn up. And I remember we did the first day, and then they said, right guys, put your tents out, camp. And it was humid, it was 35 degrees, middle of Brisbane, outskirts of Brisbane. And there we are. I was sleeping in a tent with one of the other players, and it's muggy, we're sweating, and we finally got to sleep. And then this foghorn went off at 1 a.m. in the morning. And we all got out of our tents, we got screamed, get out. We all get out, it's pitch black, we're exhausted. And they're like, right, there's logs there, grab them and run up that hill. And we run up that hill. I didn't want to do it, but I didn't want to let myself or the team down. And that's discipline. That's doing things which is going to improve everyone else. We did it. We got told to go back to sleep just to mentally challenge ourselves. And there was a bit of, sometimes I questioned it, but we just stuck to their word. And then after that, then they said, right, you've got a course now, an obstacle course of a long workout, which was run 5K, get with your partner and get on that canoe over to this mountain. So it was a big lake there. So we had to canoe over to the mountain, hike the mountain, come back down and do the same again. Mentally exhausted, it's stinking hot summer, and then we had to go into a game situation. Now, at the time, I didn't understand why we were doing it. I was sulking, whinging, negative self-talk to myself, not trying to drag the team down, but just to myself, like, why am I doing this? I'm fatigued, I'm hungry, I'm tired, I'm sleep-deprived. But I left that weekend with far more respect to myself, my team members. I know they'd have my back, and it was the internal growth that it created for me, the mental resilience that I needed in order to perform at that level. Now, I didn't have to be that level for all the time, but it tested me to say I could push beyond where I need to go, and I've grown as a person. Now, I'm not telling you need to go camp out and get out of a tent at 1 a.m. in the morning, but I'm telling you that cutting corners, no one else might know about them, but you're going to find out about them. When your head hits that pillow at night or in the morning, when you hit that snooze button, when you wake up, your internal dialogue is already pissed off with you. So when you start to respect yourself, you're going to start to respect what you truly want, and you're going to have more discipline for yourself. And when you have more discipline for yourself and you stick to your word, you're going to have more confidence in yourself. You're going to act and you're going to stand a different way. You're going to carry yourself in a different manner. And this all stems from respecting yourself and having that discipline. So my message today, guys, is what are you going to do today which is going to improve your life, and what is one thing that you're going to remove from your day, which is a bad habit, which is going to overall improve other areas of your life. Just think of those two things. One thing you can improve, a good habit, and what's one habit you can remove, which is a bad habit. Guys, massive shout out to everyone who has invested and spent and connected to the Patreon account. I am deeply grateful for that. It really means a lot to me to see people buying into what we're doing here and really wanting more out of life. That's a big part of this, is really wanting more out of life. So I can't thank you enough. And like I said, if you want to get closer to the program, if you want to buy in more and you want to, I'll do whatever it takes right now. I'm ready for change. I'm ready to take my mindset, my life, my relationships, my career to that next level. Then simply just send me a message or the link below, inquire today, and get yourself on one of our free initial calls, and we'll see what we can do with you today. Let's go.